Welcome to the course of Artificial Intelligence with Python. This is session number 1. In this session, we will discuss about neuron, neural network, the learning and working of neural network, activation function, and implementation of neural network using Python. First, we will discuss about neuron. The neuron is the particle or the term which maps with the biological structure. So we use neuron as a basic structure of the network. So when you talk about biological term, so we have one particle which is neuron, and it consists of the transmitter and receiver. So this outer part is your dendroids, which is acting as a receiver, and this line is your transmitter, which is axon. So in terms of biological aspect, so this is the structure of neuron. Now we use the same thing but in a different way. So here we will use certain things. So this is your neuron, and this neuron will be used for the prediction purpose. So it will take the inputs, and based on these inputs it will generate the output, it will predict the output. So we have multiple inputs, one output, like 1 2 3, these are the inputs and this is output. But in between we have many things, so we will discuss these things step by step. So first we will talk about the basic structure. So when you talk about the basic structure, that is nothing but your neural network. So the structure or the network we use here is called as neural network. It consists of the network of neurons. That is, one neuron is connected to another neuron via the axons in terms of biological factor. Similarly here, to extract the features, we use this neural network. So the difference between the inbuilt machine learning model and the neural network model is, here we are not providing the ready-made features to the machine or to the system, but in case of machine learning algorithms we provide some inputs, and based on that inputs we predict the output. We train the model by giving some inputs and output. So same way we are doing here, but we are letting the system extract the features. So this is the main difference between your machine learning algorithms like clustering, regression, classification, and the neural network. So this neural network consists of multiple layers. So initial layer, we call it as an input layer. It consists of inputs and output layer. So some inputs and the output, or multiple outputs. So neuron will take the inputs from the input layer and it will generate the output in the output layer. But it is not as simple as it is looking right now. This is only a basic structure. Many things are there, so we'll discuss these things. So first we have multiple inputs like x1, x2, and so on up to xm, and we have output layer. But sometimes we may have more layers to extract more features or to predict the things accurately. So that layers are nothing but hidden layers. So we have hidden layers also. So we have input layer, we have output layer, and we have hidden layer. So this hidden layer will help your inputs to predict the output correctly. In between we have some numeric values. We call these numeric values as weights. So W1, W2, and so on till Wm. For m inputs we have m weights, and then we have to multiply these inputs with these weights to generate some prediction which will be your output. But these weights and the input together, they have to activate the system. So for that we require one function. That function is called as activation function. So when inputs and weights combine together, we use one function to trigger this system on, to make this system on, to make this system work. So that function is called as activation function. So that function may be any function out of many given activation functions for the neural network, like threshold function, sigmoid function, rectifier function, hyperbolic tangent. So likewise we have many activation functions available. Out of that you can use any activation function depending on your model, depending on your requirement. So this is the basic structure of neural network, which consists of input layer, hidden layer, and output. We use multiple inputs, and according to the inputs we use the weights. Weights are nothing but numeric value, and inputs are in form of 1 and 0. And based on the weights and input, we trigger the system by applying the activation function, and which will predict the output. Now we'll discuss about the working of neural network. So as I said, the neural network works on the principle of weights and input. So for example, we have one scenario where we are predicting the prices of the house. So we have multiple inputs which are nothing but criterias, like area of the place, then number of rooms, then age of that property. So these are nothing but your inputs, and we will use the neuron to predict the output. So we will apply these inputs to the neuron, and here the weights we are using W1, W2, W3, and we are predicting the price of the house or the property on the basis of inputs. And so these are the inputs. This is x1, x2, and x3. So we'll predict the price on the basis of these inputs and weights. So summation of wi into xi. So every time you have to multiply the weight with input, corresponding input, and then you have to sum all these products. So this is one product, W1 into X1. Second product will be W2 into X2. Third product will be W3 into X3. So we have to sum all these products to get the price. So since here only three inputs we are using, so I value will go from 1 to 3. So we are predicting the price based on these inputs. Now sometimes we may require one more layer. This is simple structure, but this is not actually we have to build, because there are multiple parameters. So instead of using only one input layer, we may use another input layer or another layer, which is nothing but hidden layer. So in this hidden layer we have 4 different neurons, and then this will predict the output. So this is area, as I said, area of the place. Then this is the room, number of rooms, and this is age of the property, how old that property is. Suppose it is newly constructed property, then age is less, and depending on the age of the property, the value or the pricing of the property will get changed. So this neuron, suppose we want, some people will focus on area constant. So for suppose for this first neuron, the constant is area and number of rooms. So this type of people will not consider age into account. If it is newly constructed or if it is 10 years old, that will be okay for this type of people. So they will buy the property on the basis of area and rooms only. So these are the two important features for this type of people. So for that, only inputs to this neuron is area and rooms. Similarly for this neuron, area is important and age of the property is important, not the rooms, number of rooms. Again similarly for this neuron, rooms and age is important, area is not important. And for this neuron, again age and rooms is important and the area is not important. Likewise we have multiple types of people, which are multiple types of neuron, and then based on that it will generate the output, which is a predicted value, and based on that it will predict this output. So according to that, this neuron will activate according to the conditions provided to particular neuron. That particular neuron will get activate on the basis of that criteria, and then this system will generate the predicted value, which is nothing but y cap. It is denoted by y cap. So this is nothing but hidden layer. We can use multiple hidden layers, not necessarily that we have to use only one hidden layer. We can use multiple hidden layers. So this is your input layer, then hidden layer, and then output layer. So this is basic structure. Based on the given inputs, the corresponding neuron will consider that input, and these are the weights W1, W2, and so on. So depending on the person's criteria, that particular neuron will get activate, and that will predict the price. So this is how the neural network works. Next we'll see about the activation function. Activation function is an important part of the neural network because it will trigger the system. It will make use of all the inputs and weights, and using that inputs and weights, it will predict the output. So we use some function. That function is called as activation function. So this function is important since these are your input neurons. It will generate the inputs and then it will pass towards your output. This will go towards your output. So that your output is predicted or decided by this activation function. So this is your predicted output. and phi of summation of wi into xi. So this is your x1, x2 up to xm, w1, w2 up to xwm. So it will take sum of w into x. So this function, phi is nothing but activation function. This is nothing but activation function. So this activation function helps to predict the output. It creates the output, which is predicted value. We have multiple activation functions like threshold function, where the output will be in form of 1 and zeros. This is your predicted value on the y-axis, and on the x-axis we have summation wi into xi. So this will generate the output, like initially it will be 0, and then at certain point it will become 1. So the output will be 5x will be equal to 1. So this is 0 value, and this value is correspond to 1. So if the x value is greater than 0, then your output will be 1, otherwise output is 0. So this is how threshold function works. Similarly, we have sigmoid function as activation function, in which the graph will be S-shaped S-shaped type curve, where your values ranges from your output ranges from 0 to 1. So this is the maximum value 1 and minimum value is 0. I think here is 0. Okay, so this is how your sigmoid function acts as a activation function. The equation for sigmoid function is phi of x is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus x. So this is how we write the equation for sigmoid function. So sigmoid function is one of the activation functions. Similarly, we have rectifier function as an activation function, where we get the graph like this. Initially 0, and then it will increase the output from 0 to 1. So maximum of x comma 0 is the equation for rectifier function. This is rectifier function. We have hyperbolic tangent function also, and many functions are there. We will not discuss every function here. We will discuss these functions according to the requirement in the next sessions. So this is how activation function works. It takes the input and weights and then multiply the corresponding input and weights and sum all these products of input and weights and generates the predicted output y dash. Now we'll talk about the learning of neural network, how neural network learns. So since we have discussed that neural network or the neuron will predict the thing, it will generate the predicted output y dash. it will generate the predicted output as y dash. So it will generate y dash as the predicted output, and y is actual output. So the difference between y and y dash we have to consider always, that is nothing but cost function, and it is given by y dash minus y whole square divided by 2. This is cost function. So we use the cost function to decide whether your system is generating error or not, or how much error your system is generating. So this factor is very important, cost function. We have to reduce this cost function in terms of graph. If you observe, so this is suppose your output, actual output, the maximum value. But if you are getting y dash here or the y cap here, which is predicted value, that means this much amount of difference you are getting, this much amount of difference you are getting. So this difference you have to reduce. So when this difference is 0, that means your y is equal to y dash. So when c is equal to 0, cost function is 0. In that case, your y dash becomes y. Your y dash becomes y. That means you are predicting the things correctly. So to generate this cost function 0, what we have to do, we have to back propagate the things towards the input, and we have to modify the weight functions or the weight values, weights. So that is called as backward propagation. So suppose this is your inputs, these are the inputs, and these are the weights, corresponding weights to that inputs. And then using activation function, you are predicting the thing using phi, any activation function, and summation of wi into xi is generating some y dash. But if this y dash is different from actual output, then you have to again send back to the weights. You have to modify the weights, which are, suppose earlier weights are w1, w2, w3, and so on. So we have to modify these weights. So that is nothing but weights modification, and then again you have to predict the output. You have to follow this process till you get the minimum cost function. Ideally it should be 0, but some cases or many cases will not get c as 0, so it should be closer to 0. That is what you have to do. So the number of iterations should be in the large value, like 1000, 10,000, 20,000, and so on. So this many iterations you have to perform every time. That is for the updation of weights, the value of w. So weight updation is important parameter when you talk about neural network learning. Now we will discuss about one problem which is based on the artificial neural network, and we try to implement that problem using Python. So we'll write the code, Python code, for that problem. So in this problem, what we are doing, we are taking four inputs. So we are taking four inputs with the values ones and zeros, and then we have one output, and we are training the network first by giving some examples, like if these are the inputs, this is the output. So these things we are telling to the system. So we have four inputs, and we are applying that inputs to the system. The system is predicting the output on the basis of these inputs. So here x1, x2, x3, and x4, and we have w1, W2, W3 and W4. These are the weights, and using one activation function. Here we will use sigmoid function as activation function. Xi into Wi. So I changes from 1 to 4. It will generate the predicted value, which is y dash. So we have 4 inputs, 1 output. We will train this neural network first by providing 4 different examples. Like suppose we have provided the system with these examples. So we have inputs combination and we have one output. So when you apply some input, like initially suppose I apply here 0 0 1 0, and in that case I am getting the output as 0. Similarly, next example 1 1 1 1, suppose all the inputs are 1 1 1 1. In that case I am getting output as 1. Next is 1 0 1 0. For this input I am getting 1 again as output. Then we can apply 0 1 1 1. For this I am getting 0 as the output, and one more example will give 1 1 1 0. So one more example we'll consider 1 1 0 0. This is initially it was 0 1 1 0, 0 1 1 1. For 0 1 1 1 the output is 0, and then 1 1 0 0, we are again getting 1 as the output. So these 5 examples we are providing to the system for training part. So first we are training the system by providing this much amount of data. Like when you apply 0 0 1 0 as input, you should get 0 as the output. When 1 1 1 1 is applied, 1 should be output. When 1 0 1 0 is applied, 1 should be output. When 0 1 1 1 is applied, 0 is the output. And when 1 1 0 0 is applied, 1 should be the output. So this is how we are training the system. Now we want to find the machine, that what is the output we should get after getting or after providing this input 1001. So for this input, what should be the result? Either it is 0 or 1. So that we are predicting from the machine. So depending on this pattern, as you observed, we are getting the result as MSB of this sequence of inputs 0 0 1 0. So we are getting 0. So see here, the first column we are getting as the output. So this is the pattern actually for this particular example. This is not any kind of digital design or something. It is just a pattern identifier where we are identifying the pattern. So here we are getting 0 1 1 0 1. So same as that first column. So according to this logic, we should get here, for this input combination we should get 1, right, according to the logic, because the output we are getting is here, output we are getting is similar to the value present in the first column of the inputs. So these are the inputs actually, x1, then x2, x3, x4. So these are the inputs. So this is first combination. First we will provide 0 0 1 0, which is combination 1. This is combination 1. Then for this we will observe the output 0. Again 1 1 1 0. Second time we will provide this combination 2 inputs and we will observe the output. We should get 1 and so on. And then we want to find the output for 1 0 0 1. So according to the above logic, we should get here 1. Now we'll check by writing the code in Python whether we are getting 1 as output or not. So we'll write the code for the implementation of this example in Python. For that, okay, so now this is the Python ID where we have to type the code. So for this, we use the NumPy library. From NumPy, we have to import some inbuilt classes. So from NumPy import exponential, since we are using the sigmoid functions. So the equation of sigmoid function, as I discussed earlier, it is f of x is equal to 1 upon x plus e to the power minus x. So since we require that exponential factor in our expression, that's why we are importing this class exp. Then to create the matrices, to create the matrix of the number, we are using array class. Then to generate the random numbers, we use random. And to get the product of the matrices, we are using dot class for the matrix multiplication or matrix flow product. Now next we will provide inputs. So we'll write the inputs in form of matrix. So using array, so we'll form the matrix of the inputs. Now first input combination was 0 0 1 0. Then the next combination we are used is 1 1 1 1. Then 1 0 1 0. Then 0 1 1 1. And last we are used 1 1 0 0. So these 5 examples we are providing to the system for learning, to learn that model, to train that model. We are providing these inputs. Now we'll write for the outputs for this corresponding input value, what is the output or what should be the output. We are telling the machine or we are telling the system that for when you apply 0 0 1 0 as input, we should get 0 as the output. When you apply 1 1 1 1 as input, we should get 1 as output. When you apply 1 0 1 0 to input, we should get 1 as output. When you apply 0 1 1 1 to the in as input, we should get 0 as output. And when you apply 1 1 1 0 as input, we should get 1 as output. Dot t is used for transpose. It will transfer your horizontal into vertical matrix form. Then next is we have to generate some random numbers. For that we are using random dot seed. it seed the random numbers, so it generates the same numbers every time the program runs. So this is the purpose of using this seed. It generates the random numbers, the same random numbers every time the program runs. So for that purpose, we have to mention this random dot seed. Now we have to write the formula for the weights. So this is the formula for weights. How we are using the, since this is trial and error method, we model a single neuron with 4 input connections and 1 output connection, and we assign random weights to this 4 by 1 matrix because each has 4 combinations. So this system has 4 rows and 1 column. So 4 by 1 matrix with values in the range from -1 to 1, and mean is 0. So we are writing the formula for weights as 2 multiplied by random dot random 4 comma 1, since we are using 4 by 1 matrix because we are using 4 inputs at a time. Since our system consists of 4 inputs and 1 output, that's why 4 minus 1, 4 comma 1 minus 1. So this is how we write the weights. Now we will use sigmoid function. So for that, you have to write the output. So output of sigmoid function is written as 1 upon 1 divided by, as I already discussed, the output of the random function is nothing but f of phi of x is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus x. So same way we'll write this equation. So 1 upon, in bracket, 1 plus exp minus, because it is e to the power minus x, minus dot, the product, dot is used for as a product for the multiplication. Inputs, what we are multiplying? We are multiplying inputs and weights. So here exponential minus dot. So this, so as we have already discussed about this, the equation for sigmoid function is given by phi of x is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus x. So in this case, it will be 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus summation of, instead of x, here we are multiplying the weights with inputs and then we are taking sum. So I changes from 1 to 4. So in this example, the formula will look like this. So that's why we are taking here the product of inputs and weights. So this is w, inputs is x and weights are is w. So x into w we are taking, and then we are taking its exponential power. Then next is we have to update the weights, because weights are initial weights will not generate the accurate results. We have to update that weights. To update that weights, we have to use plus equal to dot. We'll transpose these inputs to vertical matrix using dot t, comma, the error output. Now these this output is nothing but the outputs we have used for the training part. So these are the trained outputs which we have already given to the machine for the training part. So this outputs is nothing but the initial outputs which we have used for the training minus this output, which is the output from of the activation function. So this is actually your error term. So what we are multiplying, how to modify the weights? We are modifying the weights using this relation. The weights are getting modified. Weights are getting modified using the relation or using the equation input input multiplied by error. So you have to consider the input multiplied by error. Error is nothing but predicted value minus actual value multiplied by the derivative of function, the derivative of activation function. Now we have to discuss about this thing, derivative of activation function. So instead of using the same function again, which is 5x, what we'll consider? We'll consider the derivative of that activation function. So here your sigmoid function will look like S-shaped curve. So this is your sigmoid function, which is S-shaped value, and corresponding derivative of this will be same. It is the same, but we have to use some portions of that curve. So this is then here tangent to that points. So when now corresponding values, now this is your sigmoid function. So this is nothing but your 0 value. This is 1, and suppose this is 0.5. This value corresponds to 0.5, and these are positive values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And these are negative values -1, -2, -3 up to -5. So similarly here we are getting its derivative as 0 here, 1, 2, 3, here -1, -2, -3, like this. So the derivative of the sigmoid function, now sigmoid function is written as phi of x is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e to the power minus x, and the derivative, which is this graph, this is nothing but phi dash of x. And if you find the derivative of this activation function, it is x into 1 minus x into 1 minus x. So when you observe these some points, so at this point, when the value is large, means positive, the derivative is small. So uh, it indicates the small number, or the value for the larger numbers we don't need to adjust. For the larger numbers, no need of adjustment of the weights, and for the smaller number, the value will be bigger here, the slope will be bigger, and so we need to adjust these values. So this is how we can predict using derivative functions. So the derivative of sigmoid function, this is the gradient of sigmoid curve, which indicates how confident we are about existing weight. So whether we should modify the weight or not. So this derivative function will decide that adjustment should be done again, or we should stop there. Okay, so or what weights are to be adjusted, so that is decided by the derivative function. So when the the small number is there, the confidence level of that particular weight is low, that means we need to modify that weight, we need to adjust that weight. For larger number, like here we don't need to adjust the weight, because the confidence level of that particular neuron is more, that weight is more, right? So this is about finding the weight adjustment. For that we are using this derivative function here. So the formula for weight adjustment is input multiplied by error multiplied by derivative of the function, and derivative of sigmoid function is given by x into 1 minus x. So same thing we have to write in the code. So inputs using dot t function, we will convert that into the transpose form. Then we are multiplying it by the error, and then we are again multiplying it into the derivative. The derivative is given by output multiplied by 1 minus output. So this is how we modify the weight or we adjust the weight. And lastly, we have to print 1. The output is given by 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus e to the power minus x, as we have already discussed about that, which is the output. The same thing we are printing now, but we are printing for the unknown value of the inputs, the unknown combination which we want to predict. 1 minus dot, same way then we'll write the array for that particular input combination. So the combination we want to find out is, for this input, what is the output? 1 0 0 1. And we are multiplying this with weights. As I discussed it, the output equation is 1 divided by 1 plus e to the power minus summation of the input. The inputs is this combination array of 1 0 0 1 multiplied by weights. And then we are printing the results. Now we'll save this and we'll run this. So output should be 1 according to our model, which we have already discussed. We are providing here 4 input combinations, the 5 examples of in which we have 4 inputs and 1 output. So 5 examples, by using 5 examples we are training the machine. So the process of training the neural network is as follows. We first train the neural network through the process of trial and error by adjusting the weights each time. Then we pass the training set through the neural network and calculate the error. The error is calculated by desired value minus predicted value. Then we multiply the error by input, and again by the gradient of sigmoid function. Gradient means derivative of the sigmoid function, which we are doing here, which means the less confident weights are adjusted and more the less confident weights are adjusted and more confident weights will remain same. So even if your inputs with the value 0, so it will not change your weight because your input value is 0. So it will not change the weights or your output, because input is in form of 0 and 1. So we are providing 5 examples to the machine to train or to learn. When 0010 is applied, then 0 should be the output, and so on. Then we are generating the random numbers by providing random.seed. Then we are writing the equation for weights, how we are training the model, or how to generate the weights, what value the weight should carry. So that is decided by this equation, 2 multiplied by random.random. 4 indicates the number of inputs we are providing, and 1 is the output. So 4 comma 1 matrix we have generated. Then we have written the output equation as discussed. We are using sigmoid function, so this is the output equation for sigmoid function. And then we are adjusting the weight by using inputs, error function, and the gradient function. Gradient is the derivative of sigmoid function, which is x into 1 minus x. And then we are printing the result for the new input, which is 1001, which is not present here, 1001. So according to our model, we should get 1 as the output. So we'll check whether we are getting 1 or not by running this program. It is showing error here. Just a second. Okay, so here we have to use one more bracket. And now in this case, we are getting the result as 0.4872, 0.4872. Let me check the program once again. 1110. Okay, so here instead of 11, I will apply 00. Four, 7. Actually, this is why this is coming, because this we have generated only one time, but we have to run the whole process. Let it be 1110 only, as we have written previously. Now we have written this code only for one iteration, single iteration, but this is not the case. As I said, we have to run this process multiple times. So for that, write whole things in a loop, because we have not created a loop for iteration, because we are we have implemented only single time, only one iteration. But neural network will require multiple iterations, like 1000 iterations or 5000 or 10,000. So we'll run this code for, or we'll run this adjustment of weights 10,000 times. So we'll write the for loop for that in the range 10,000, and we'll write this in for loop output and weights. So both these things will include in the for loop, because it will require multiple iterations to get the output. Now we will run this code, and now you observe the output. You are getting 0.9998, which is closer to 1, nearly 1. So that is what about the neural network model, and we have implemented this model using Python. The next session we will talk more about neural networks and more complex example, and how to implement these examples using Python. We'll discuss about that thing. So stay tuned to Electron ITS YouTube channel for getting more updated videos on artificial intelligence, and subscribe the channel if you like the video. Thank you.